Come along, children. Now we're going to have a little music.
This ain't funny, so don't you dare laugh.
What is good, guys? What is up? Welcome back to First Cut Live. I'm here with the record-setting crew, the best crew in the game. I'm starting with my boy, my right-hand man, the man himself, Mr. RB3. What is up, bro?
Yeah, what's up, y'all? What's up, y'all? Happy to be here. Happy to be here today. First Cut Live. Ooh,
yeah, man. Obviously, we're going to catch up with you in a little bit, but before we do, I have to introduce my center, my 7-footer, the one who's getting all the dunks and all the alley-oops. It's Sabrina Ramirez. What is up, girl?
Hey, I'm doing good. Happy to be here.
I like how that's an alley-oop for you.
I don't know what that is. I was going to say, I'm struggling. That's I don't know.
I was trying to post up.
Am I wrong?
I'll post up. You know what I mean?
Oh, post up. There you go.
Yeah.
But so center, alley-oop means I pass you the ball in midair and you catch it and dunk it. Yeah, there you go.
There we go.
Hey. Obviously, guys, we're going to get into this episode all about the Emmys, all about TV talk, a little bit about the Universal stuff just because I'm chomping at the bit to talk about it. But before we do, guys, I really feel like I have to mention the reality in the room, the reality in the world, and that is Breonna Taylor. Hashtag say her name. I feel like we should be saying her name more often. I'm going to start doing this pretty much every episode of First Cut Live, if I'm being honest, just on a personal end. I feel like it's important that we should be mentioning her, that we should keep demanding justice. The cops that murdered Breonna Taylor, shot her in her own home 8 times in her own bed, are still free and are still walking among us, are still having free time, are still being able to do whatever it is they want to do. Yet Breonna Taylor has lost her life. And I feel like if there's justice in this country, then justice should be served in every state, in every city, in every community, especially for women of color, especially for black women. So justice for Breonna Taylor. Obviously, guys, we also want to make sure and we deliver a call to action. We linked her GoFundMe. Sabrina's posting that in the chat. We have that in the description down below as well. Contact the Attorney General, contact the Louisville Mayor, contact anyone you can within the Breonna Taylor community, and they can direct you towards a call to action for that. That is something that we want to pay attention to. And RB3, you have a little bit more information for that as well.
Yeah, well, we, last month when we did our Black Lives Matter fundraiser, we raised a lot of money from Streamlabs. We raised about over $1,000 from Streamlab donations. So thank y'all so much. Now Streamlabs usually comes pretty instantly as opposed to Super Chats, which take a little longer from YouTube. But we did get our Super Chat donations in finally. So we did donate the rest of the money. We ended up donating $143 to both the GoFundMe for Breonna Taylor and to the Bell Project. So for this extension of our total donation, I think in total we donated over $620 to both organizations. So we did a really great job. Thank you so much to the First Cut community for making that happen. It's a real achievement and it's a real blessing to see that we have people in our community that frankly care so much about the issues and care so much about seeing us do good things for the Black Lives Matter community and for Black lives in general, that we're able to achieve that goal. So thank you so much. It's a really great achievement.
Yeah, it's really great that this is staying in the conversation and everything that we've done in the beginning of all of
Hashtag say her name. Thank you, Ace. Major respect to you for using your platform.
Oh, thank you. Oh, yeah, my bad, y'all. I didn't mean to have the robot on now, but we do have a robot on for $10 plus donations if you want to donate to our Streamlabs down in the description down below. So,
yeah,
I'm really just honestly, real quick, what was that? Sorry, Sabrina.
That was Aiden who donated.
Aiden.
Oh,
Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Aiden.
Go ahead, Sabrina. I apologize.
No, yeah. Oh, no, it's all good. The way this community came together when this first started, the fight is not over. Somebody made an Excel spreadsheet on every single streamer and the amount they donated, so obviously we were included on that. And the amount, I think, $100,000 total, which is such a beautiful thing that everybody, this community came together for something like this, for something so important. And it just honestly means the entire world. So now that we are finally able to finish the rest of the donations that we got through Super Chat, it's just really a beautiful thing, but it's not over. So constantly use the hashtag say her name, sign all the petitions that you possibly can. It takes 2 seconds. And then also call the Attorney General. Never stop talking about this until justice. Demand justice every single day going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. My thing is, obviously, I want to reference that that spreadsheet that you mentioned, that Excel sheet that was made. A lot of that, I mean, obviously, Goddard did a lot. But the Internet Today guys, the guys that I really appreciate, Elliot and Ricky, Elliot Dewberry, for anyone who's a Schmodown fan, donated $55,000, I think is what they raised. They did the most, and they honestly like have never stopped talking about it, and that's why I love their channel and I support them so much. But I feel like I'm watching the NBA, I'm watching behind the scenes, I'm watching NBA talk, NBA podcast, and they reference it every single time. And it kind of dawned on me that I'm like, well, I have a tiny platform. If major corporations can do this, then we should do it as well.
Yes,
and I'm glad players like LeBron, Tobias, Jeremy Grant, other players are mentioning Breonna Taylor as many times as they can. The WNBA has placed her name on every single jersey for any and every team. Black Lives Matter is on the court. This is something that if they're not going to stop, we shouldn't stop. And they're a corporation, so it's not like,
right.
They have more to lose than we do. Yeah. So it's like, come on, we should be doing more in this community, in this conversation. So, but alrighty, guys, let's move on for the rest of this conversation. I briefly want to mention this Universal AMC deal, and obviously, I think you guys, I'm assuming, have already talked about it. I don't know when you guys do SCN Live. Is it tomorrow? You guys? Well, I know you're on every day.
Earlier today.
Yeah, I did
today.
It today.
Okay.
We did it earlier today.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Sabrina, you switch days like so frequently. It's like
yeah, I know. I was gonna say you usually do
I'm
Thursdays, right?
It used to be Thursdays. Nope. This week I'm Wednesday, Friday. So it just kind of goes back and forth. Yeah. Got you.
But either way, for anyone who doesn't know, Universal and AMC made a deal closing the window between the releasing a movie on video on demand after their release in the movie theater to a 17-day window, which means that they're going to focus more on the on-demand type movies that are happening now, which is pretty much all we have right now because of the theater chains are kind of shut down. What this means, it means a lot, obviously, and I want to toss it to you guys because I want to get your opinion on this. But what this means essentially is that people have the option to wait for this video on demand now instead of going to the movie theater, which will only decrease the numbers inside movie theaters, which was already going astronomically down, like my God down, spiral down. So this is kind of the beginning of the end in a much more expedited type of way for theater chains. But either way, guys, I want to get your thoughts on this. I'll start with you, Sabrina. What is your thoughts on this crazy? It's a massive deal for Hollywood.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack because there's a lot of pros and cons to everything. Like, the pro is, in some areas of the country, we live in that LA bubble where we have small theaters, we have chain theaters, we have theaters everywhere. So we don't have to worry about that kind of stuff. Some people have a theater for like miles. Some people have to drive like 30, 40 minutes. It's really crazy. I'll go to visit. I went to Idaho with a friend 3 years ago, and I went to go see Spider-Man Homecoming, and we had to drive an hour to go see to go to a theater. So in some areas of the country, it's just not people's main concern. And then maybe some people will be able to watch films because they'll be able to access it like sooner and easier than they would if they were just waiting. And then also, the death of theaters, we've been talking about it for a long time. We've seen it coming for a long time. I just really hope this doesn't really affect the like smaller theaters, which I know it will. But I still want to keep it 100% will. But I hope that people still, out of going to like either like, I don't know, I have like the Vista that I love to go to here in Los Angeles. I hope that one still stays okay for the years to come because that really is my favorite theater. I love the events they put on because they do midnight showings for like Rosemary's Baby and things like that. And the ticket prices are low compared to, you go to like an AMC, it's like $18. You go to Vista on a matinee, it's $6 for a new film. For like Invisible Man. So I just hope those don't get affected. I know they really hope that people like go to their smaller theaters.
RB3, any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, there's like Sabrina said, pros and cons, right? Like the biggest pro is that it's another stream of revenue for the movie theaters because they do get a cut of whatever VOD sales comes out of it. So that is interesting. I know AMC have been trying to set up their own streaming service. I don't know if more movie theater chains are going to try and go in that direction, but I know AMC theaters literally have like a streaming service where you could buy premium VOD movies like off of their website. So again, I don't know what their strategy is. I think they're doing a different approach. I think that, but ultimately, you know, and again, there might be some business dealings. Like I said this morning on FCN, like, you know, AMC is owned by a huge Chinese company. Universal is a conglomerate. NBC Universal is a conglomerate. It might be some sort of backhand deals going on there. I mean, you just never know. But beyond that, what is the ultimate effect for the movie theater industry in and of itself? Well, it's good for AMC, but it's not good for like a lot of other places. I believe AMC might be the second largest, if not the largest, in the United States. I
think it is the largest.
I think it's the largest. Yeah. So, but then, you know, again, like Cineworld is not going to participate in this. It'll be interesting to see. Cineworld owns Regal and owns a lot of stuff. I don't know if Cinemark is going to participate, which is the third largest. But I don't know if other theaters start participating, then it becomes really, really bad news for small theaters. Now, when you talk about, you know, like the mom and pop shops, like I used to go, before I used to go do the podcast with you, Ace, I used to go to the NoHo. I think it was like Lincolnshire or whatever, or one of those small like North Hollywood theaters. And I used to watch stuff like Wes Anderson movies. What was that? Isle of Dogs or whatever. So there's places that play like these really cool indie movies that you're not going to get at a lot of other places that might not survive this thing. And then if that cripples the movie theater industry for the small theaters, what's going to happen to the small movies? Are they going to have a place to be distributed? So again, like this whole COVID thing, just speeding up the whole process, like with everything in this country. And this is just another example of it.
Well, I've always predicted this, obviously, since I've met you, RB3, since I've been on Schmoes. I've been talking about the death of movie theaters and the way that studios are producing movies nowadays,
Right.
Which is more directed towards streaming. This has been something that's been in the making for years.
Right.
What's happening now is that inevitability is coming quicker than we thought, which means, like you said, RB3, the last point, that's kind of my point, because as much as we love our nerdy stuff and our big blockbuster movies, I think all three of us can agree that the movies we usually choose for best of the year is tiny independent movies or smaller movies or indie movies. And those are the first ones that are going to get eliminated, at least in theater runs, because now video on demand has almost exclusively taken that style of watching those kind of movies. And they already are. I've been talking to you guys about the TV atmosphere, and obviously we're going to get to the Emmys, which amplifies this conversation, but it's the idea that the vast majority of the stuff that you can see on TV nowadays, whether it's an Ozark or Better Call Saul or Devs, is the kind of quality you would see in these kind of smaller indie movies that are kind of better than some of the movies we're seeing nowadays. Except for maybe last year, because you guys loved, we all love Parasite. Yeah. But that's the problem, right? That the first thing to go is indie movies in movie theaters. Obviously, we're biased because we live in LA, and I'm the weird cinephile nerdy dude who only goes to ArcLight. So obviously,
you only go to ArcLight.
I'm that guy, right? So I'm the kind of guy who will always see my indie movies because I go to ArcLight, but that's not fair to other people around the country who don't have that kind of channel.
Well, exactly like the conversation you're talking about, television. Even look at the VOD releases we've gotten that aren't premium VOD, but just are like Amazon Prime or Hulu, Palm Springs, Vast of Night, really, really high quality stuff. And I mean, right now, of course, is obviously a different time because we're in our homes. We can't go anywhere at all right now. But even after this, think about how accustomed we've got to being at home and watching these films. Wait I think it's like 17 days, so like what, 2.5 weeks, and then we could sit in our homes, we can continue to watch it. It costs one base price, which is something that we always talk about. Prices are so steep in a lot of areas of the country. I know that's not the case everywhere, but in Los Angeles, Chicago, New York, places like that, you pay for one household, it's one flat rate. And then also, people have really great TVs. I just got like a new living room setup. I used to have a really crappy TV, no setup at all. Now I have a nice comfy couch, nice TV. Like, some people have surround systems and basically like a mini theater in their own rooms, like in their own living rooms. Why wouldn't they want to just pay one base price and then watch it in their own setup that they paid money for? It's one of those things where I understand. I don't get it and I don't agree. Obviously we all love but I understand how this is a plus for a lot of people that don't want to go see a movie, especially in the situation that we're in right now.
Yeah, I think you nailed it, Sabrina, and that's something that I've been talking about as well, but I'm glad that you brought it up. And that's the idea of this snowball effect, right? Where COVID-19 isn't only just changing us for the moment, it's changing us forever. As a species, as a sociological interaction, because we're now becoming accustomed to Zoom, to online, to all this kind of stuff that maybe people that are not our age are now, savvy with. Older people of all ages are now used to this. What that means for TV viewing and watching and movie watching is that the people who only went to movie theaters maybe 5 or 6 times a year are now going to be like, I can go maybe once a year, because let's face it, I'm watching all this great stuff on Netflix. I'm watching all this great stuff on HBO. I don't really have a need for it. I've become so accustomed to staying at home throughout 2020 and maybe part of 2021 that why would I even go to a movie theater now? Those options are now being given to you at home. What that does is that creates the snowball effect of just continuing to stay home, even if the movie theaters are open.
Yeah,
and I really do feel like that's going to happen.
Yeah.
I
mean, this is where the area of the conversation I don't. This is where I might portray.
Okay.
This is where I might seem like I might be portraying my values. But hear me out here, right? I always campaign for like more streaming, more accessibility, more this, more that, right? I can get behind that if it's, more access to movies via like Netflix or Disney Plus or something like that. I can't really get behind it if it's going to be $20 for a movie rental like 17 days after it comes out in theaters. That's keeping it as inaccessible as it would be in the movie theaters. In fact, almost kind of worse. Like the one area of small theaters that are going to actually kind of benefit from this are the cheap $1 theaters that get movies like months after they come out. They're probably going to cash a lot of bank out because people rather see a cheap movie for like, $4 for the whole family than pay like $17 for a 24-hour rental. Like, that's insane. So I don't know. To me, it's like, I could get the appeal of like people being, comfortable at home and people having a changed sense of sensibility or whatever. But like, I don't think people, and by the way, I think when the theaters open, they're going to be packed out. Like when I go to the drive-in theaters, like they are packed out every single weekend.
Yeah, but they're
like,
driving, bro.
You think so?
Yeah, but no,
they're driving.
Yeah, but people are ready to go to the movies. People are ready. People are excited to get back to normalcy. And like, if it's safe or if it's not safe, I don't know. It depends on what they kind of use. I hope they figure out a way to open it up soon with like usages of technology. I don't really know how that would work, but I don't know how planes fly either. So maybe they'll figure something out. But I do think that ultimately, this will be helpful for the movie theater industry, for an AMC and for the studios, but it won't be helpful for the consumer, and it won't be helpful for the small businesses.
I agree with you on that point. On that point, I agree, because I do feel like you nailed it when you said, if anything, this takes away more business from them, right? Because people are saying there's a conversation where people are like, well, now people are going to check out more indie movies because they're at home. And I'm like, no. Now people are not going to watch any indie movies because they have to pay $20 for a tiny A24 movie that they already didn't really care about. Why would I pay $20 for a 24-hour rental? It's just, if anything, this is going to sink independent studios. This is going to sink smaller movies. And that, on a personal level, is a bummer, right? Because we love small movies. We celebrate independence.
Well, look at last week. We talked about Never, Rarely, Sometimes, Always being one of our favorite movies that have come out this year so far. Not too many people have at all, and it is a great, great film. So it would be such a shame if going forward, which I completely understand, because there's people like us who we seek out these types of films. Some people kind of just like end up stumbling upon them, not knowing what they're getting into, but we seek these films out. But if you're not paying attention to these kind of films, they will completely fly off your radar, and then they won't get the recognition that they deserve in a lot of senses. But I just want to shout out really quick, just because it's super important, the super chats. If you want to read the two super chats that just came in.
Is it 156?
Yes.
So 156 says, last week I told you guys that my mom needed a new kidney. She got it on Saturday. I know Aubrey 3 knows, and I told Sabrina on SEN today. Just wanted Ace to know the news too. Day by day, love you guys. Oh, that's great.
That's beautiful. Thank 156, man.
Thank you for letting me know, man.
Praying for you and your family.
Absolutely. Obviously, best of love and positive vibes to you and your mom, and that's great news. And obviously, I'm going to read the second one you sent us, which says, my mom needs time to heal. A lot is happening now with my mom and me. Changes, prayers. By the way, I'm happy Mandalorian got nominated. I love Star Wars. I am ecstatic that Mandalorian got nominated. For a lot of reasons, and I'll get to that when we talk about Emmys. But obviously, first of all, 156. First of all, thank you for your support, man. And obviously, much prayers to you and your mom in this difficult time. I feel like now is the time for everyone to go through that healing process. And obviously, we don't wish bad health on anyone, and it's a difficult time no matter what. But it gives you the opportunity to spend more time with her and to maybe dive deeper into a relationship that you had with her. At least that's what I'm learning with my family. So obviously that's great news, man, and we're happy for you. So, but yeah, to finish up here, that was my biggest takeaway, is that the more I hear this, the more I realize that smaller movies are going to become a little bit more rare, are going to be a rarity. And that's really disappointing to me, because I feel like those are the movies that we love the most. Those are the movies that have a bigger impact in our lives, and the kind of movies that really make a change and a difference in people and in cinephiles. It's the kind of movies that makes people want to start making movies, if that makes sense, RB3.
Yes,
because
absolutely.
I know that's the kind of movies that we want to promote and make, is the movies that inspire younger people and younger kids.
I think, and to me, that's why I feel always so passionately about like the idea of preserving independent cinema and the idea of making it accessible. Because for me, like, I remember being a young kid, like in Compton, like really having all those theaters that played like the nice movies. Like ArcLight was super far. I really didn't even go to ArcLight till I went to college. So like I really, when it was stuff like Whiplash and all these great movies that everybody was just talking about and hyping up, it always like broke my heart that it was like impossible for me to see it. And I've always been like kind of, not for the whole pirating thing, but like, there's, I mean, sometimes it just comes to a breaking point, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, bro, like, what are you going to do? So to me, it's like, I want people to be able to just watch anything everywhere at any time. You know what I mean? And I don't think this whole 17 days thing is the right move at all. So that's my thoughts.
Sabrina?
I agree. Yeah, I agree. It's a tricky thing. I know this is just Universal and AMC right now, and obviously other big theater chains have said that they're not gonna participate, and then we don't even know with the studios what's gonna happen there. The thing that I'm happy about is that there's some type of resolution and there's something to go forward with, just because the past few months we've kind of been talking about this battle between Universal and between AMC and between the studio and chains. We literally did a whole First Cut live on movie theaters versus studios. And so I'm happy that there's some type of resolution. I really hope this goes well for a lot of people. I don't know what's going to happen going forward, just because there are pros and cons. But what I'm saying is, go to your local small theaters, go seek out independent cinema. Obviously, when it's safe and we can do so, support independent cinema.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll close the conversation with this, and I'll briefly get your guys' thoughts on this. Here's my biggest macro takeaway, if that makes sense, on a bigger picture, on a bigger level. RB3 and I have been talking about the idea of less studios, right? So it's not even just the theater change. It's not even just the movies themselves or the type of movies that we get, but it's the studios themselves, the people that decide what movies are being made anywhere inside the movie industry. The problem now is that with the Fox and Disney merger, it means that there's one less studio that can create and divert and make different types of movies. Disney is eating that up. And what Disney is doing is that they're becoming a giant, almost conglomerate of taking...
Oh, they're past conglomerate. They're past conglomerate.
It is. It's past that, right? I mean, they are the studio. They create and they dominate the market. Not even the movies, the market. The type of movies that are being made now are usually imitations of what Disney is doing, because imitation is the best form of flattery. That's what happens. Market drives that type of genre, the type of movie. So if Disney makes this type of movie, that means Universal and everyone else is going to make that type of movie. The problem with that is that we get less movies. And with less movies comes more generic movies. And with more generic movies comes more four-quadrant movies. With more four-quadrant movies means that we're only going to get one type of movie. And this is something that obviously Martin Scorsese wrote about in his New York Times piece. But it's not the idea that I hate the MCU. It's the idea that now the MCU is going to become everything. Literally, everything is now MCU. And that's always going to be an issue of mine, because I want to see more diverse movies. And by diverse, I mean genre, I mean filmmaker, I mean people behind the camera and in front of it. And the problem with this type of news that we're getting now is that less movies, less independent movies, less theaters. It's seeming like it's disappearing to the point now where the only thing we're going to get in movies is what you said, RB3, and I'll never forget it because I've never read Cloud Atlas, but Disney's. It's not movies anymore, it's Disney's. It's going to be Marvel Phase 45, and as much as I love Marvel, if that's all we get, it's kind of stale.
Yeah.
So yeah, sorry
to
bring you guys down.
I definitely, if Disney does this kind of deal, it's game over. It's game over. There wouldn't be any theaters left. Like if Disney said that we were going to strike a deal for movie theater where they're going to put their movie in the movies for 17 days and it'll go directly to Disney Plus. For one, Disney Plus will instantly become the biggest streaming service ever, instantly. And number two, every other small movie theater chain is gone. It's eviscerated. And that's what worries me about this deal. It's going to set a precedent for this kind of stuff. And I don't know.
Well, Disney is going to single-handedly be the only movies that are played in theaters. I really do believe that in the future. Like, that's the problem, right? And the thing about Universal and why I feel like Universal is always going to be ahead of the game in a certain sense is because of horror. And I swear to you guys, it could be 100 years, it could be 200 years. We're always going to have horror movies. Like, that's never going to change.
Well, that's one
so
of the
no
things,
matter... Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, it's just like... whenever I talk to like casual movie-going audiences, like a lot of my friends and those type of moviegoers, they talk about like the only things they see those Blumhouse horror films, they see those Marvel movies, they see stuff like that, because those are something that they kind of like. In the theater experience is something unique. With a horror film, you get that kind of environment with everybody. So it is one of those films that you do want to see in a theater, like a Get Out or like a Hereditary or something like that. A lot of my friends chose to see stuff like that, Midsommar, over
Invisible Man.
Yeah, Invisible Man especially, yeah, because that did incredible earlier this year. And that's a really interesting example, actually, because that came out about 2 weeks before COVID hit, or before we had the stay-at-home order. So before everything shut down, that was in theaters for 2 weeks, and then did incredible in theaters, and then also did incredible on VOD. So that's kind of how the model would be going forward with those types of films. It would be in theaters for just like about 2.5 weeks, and then hit VOD just like that film did. So that's something interesting to look at, because both numbers were highly successful. But that's because it's a horror film. It's something that people want to see. And that's the same thing with the Marvel and the Star Wars and everything. Because the ticket prices are so steep, people don't really want to spend in Los Angeles about $18 to go see something that's like, you don't have to see in a cinema. You don't have to see with that theatrical experience to them. So that's kind of where the other point of view besides someone like ours would kind of come in.
Yeah.
100%. I've always told RB3, for every Onward, for every MCU, there is this weird, trippy, gory horror movie that everyone wants to see. Like, horror will always be the counterbalance to, like, a kiddie movie or, like, a Disney movie. Like, for every Disney, there's going to be a gory horror movie or a scary movie that people want to see. Like, horror is that genre that will always be the cleansing palette of a 4-quadrant movie. It's like the opposite of it. So everyone wants to see a Disney movie and then a horror movie.
Well, you know,
so that's why. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I was done. Yeah.
But what I was gonna say though is,
Good joke.
you know, I do think you know, you're right. Universal's always going to survive with horror movies. I think all studios are actually going to always survive, because what we've seen since like the 1980s is that studios just tend to get tossed from one conglomerate to another, right?
They'll get bought up, but maybe not survive.
But I mean, but you see like the historic studios, like Warner, the top 6, Warner Brothers, Paramount. I think Paramount's always going to survive. I think Columbia Pictures is always going to survive. These are places that, listen, they're always going to survive, and let me tell you why. Because when you look at their owners, right, you look at who owns Columbia Pictures. It's Sony, a tech company. Who owns NBC Universal? Who owns Universal? Comcast, a tech company. Who owns Warner Brothers? AT&T, a tech company. So what's going to start happening when these tech companies maybe figure out that these movie studios aren't working? They sell them off to other tech companies, and we're already starting to see those conversations happening with Columbia Pictures.
That's what tech companies do, though.
Yeah.
Tech companies buy each other up. They merge. They're called mergers.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, I wouldn't.
That's not good for movies, though. That's not good for art.
I mean, but but you know what? But it's not good for art. But it depends on the situation, right? It depends on the situation, because there's periods and times where in the 1990s where there was like this kind of midpoint in the conglomerate stage where movie studios were just being mad creative because they had so much money to spend. I think that's when things get interesting. That's what could lead to like a new revolution too, right? Like, it just depends. Like, if someone like an Apple comes along and buys Columbia Pictures and just shoots $1 trillion into revenue into Columbia, that could lead to something good. Or they could just totally collapse it too. You never know. But you know, you hope for something like Apple, especially, to me at least, Steve Jobs, you know, one of the creators of Pixar. I think, you know, they would prioritize good content at like an Apple TV kind of situation. Maybe I'm just pitching something for me to sell to Apple TV. I don't know, but
I just no. I feel you, bro. But I just pointed at Sabrina when you said Steve Jobs because of her outfit.
No, don't.
I was like, Steve Jobs is right here live. I'm sorry, Sabrina.
Oh my god. No, it's okay. I'm cosplaying as Michael Fassbender, Steve Jobs. That's what I'm doing right now. But yeah, we have Joe Star in the chat saying, what happens if Disney buys Blumhouse?
I don't see that happening just because Disney's so obsessed with their 4-quadrant model.
But I don't know about that either, bro, because they have always...
Have they done an R, though?
Well, I mean, they bought... they have FX under Hulu. Like, they're going to figure out ways to buy good content and put it under like a Hulu. I think eventually...
Under a different banner, yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? And you know what? To say this, I think to make it full circle, I think the next big movie studios are going to be the Netflixes, the Amazons, and the Hulus. I think they're going to be the next ones who are going to be running the independent middle budget game, for sure.
Here's my point, and here's kind of where I'm going to finish, because otherwise we'll talk about this forever.
Yeah.
My problem and my issue is, when do movies start to become... I don't know if I'm going to find the correct word, but vapid. If we only have what you said, RB3, Apple making movies, Amazon, because Amazon is the biggest company in the world, Amazon Studios making movies. We have these corporations that are kind of known for being very exploitative, for kind of turning a blind eye to a lot of human rights issues. For being just kind of dicks, honestly, these corporations and these CEOs of these corporations are now making movies. Are we cool with that? Like, obviously, we already know that the studios are corrupt, and most, studio heads are corrupt. But at the same time, do we just want to say, F it, let's make it more corrupt? Is that cool? Because I don't want to see Homeboy from Devs making movies. Right? But those are the kind of people that are now making movies. It's the Silicon Valley type homies that are very exploitative and that are very much, capitalism first, money hungry people. those are the kind of people that are going to be making, movies that are supposed to have a message. And I feel like it's kind of weird if I'm making a movie that has this pro-human rights message when it's being made by a corporation that is so anti-human rights or that turns a blind eye.
I mean, you say that, but we do Amazon Prime reviews all the time. So we're already in that place.
Homecoming's a good show. I just binged it last night. I really did. I binged the whole thing.
No, it's great. I love season
great
1.
Show.
Dang,
Great show.
okay.
Season. I have to see season 2, but
I haven't seen
binged
season 1. Yeah, I've only seen season. I haven't seen season 2.
But that's. Am I making sense with that or no?
No, absolutely. No, you're right, but I mean, you're right, but that's just the nature of the film industry. I feel like, you know what I mean? We're gonna have to. There's always gonna be. It shouldn't be. It definitely shouldn't be, and that's why we promote diversity. That's why we promote young voices, young people getting to the top.
I agree with you, but here's the issue, right? I love, and I'm the biggest defender of this, and I'll finish on this because Lindsay Ellis did that video called Woke Disney, and I think she made a lot of fair points. But at the same time, I can still counter her with other points. And you and I debated about this, RB3. Where does the quality of diversity outweigh the fakeness of a giant corporation? And I was the one who argued that, you know what, even if it's fake, at least it's giving brown and black people jobs. Like, F it. That's what I said. And you said, they're being fake and we shouldn't celebrate this. And I was like, hey, Aladdin hired a lot of brown people. Yeah, let's go watch Aladdin. That's what I said. And I stand by that because I do feel like, yes, it might be fake and it might be fake woke. But at the same time, a lot of brown and black people got jobs. And I'm cool with that rather than having the same, we can't hire a black man or a black woman from other studios and corporations. So when are we going to start to be like, hey.
I get it. But at the same time, it's like I definitely want to. I definitely am curious because film is a cycle, and we've had good cycles. So I'm looking forward to a good cycle. You know what I mean? Or who knows? Maybe A24.
This just gave me flashbacks.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What's that?
Oh wait, what were you gonna say? Oh no, you finish up.
Oh no, I was gonna say maybe A24 just makes only TV going for it. Like I'm down for that too.
I think that's what's gonna happen.
No.
Yeah.
I mean,
they're already doing that. I mean, they're Emmy nominated this year.
Yeah, for Rami, but
Rami, yeah.
No, what I was gonna say, this gave me flashbacks when we used to be in the studio yelling at each other. Actually, I say we, but I mean you two.
Yeah.
And then I would just be sitting
there
and I'm like, both of you guys made points, so I'm just like right in the middle of both, and I'm like, I see both. It's like Marriage Story, and I'm the little kid.
Yeah, what's his name? Henry?
Getting pulled Henry. Getting pulled both directions.
Yeah.
And I feel like Andres is Scarlett Johansson. RB3 is
I'm the Adam Driver. I'm the jerk. I'm the jerk in the situation. Come on, man.
You're punching.
I wish you were dead. Oh!
I don't know. I thought Scarlett Johansson.
I can't do an Adam Driver. How do you do an Adam Driver impression?
You just go.
Every day I wake up.
Okay. Every day I wake up and I think you're dead. I wish you were dead. I can't do it.
You're dead.
People, give us $10. We'll do that. We got you.
Yeah.
We got you.
Yo, great movie, by the way. Great movie.
Yeah, great movie.
One of the year.
Both of y'all's number one.
It was my number one.
Yeah, it was.
All right, we're gonna move on to the Emmys. Otherwise, we never will. Real quick rundown, guys. I didn't find any major takeaways from the major categories because if I'm being honest, I haven't seen all these shows.
Okay.
Go ahead, RB3.
I was gonna say before we fully transition to the next topic, we do have like a bunch of Streamlabs.
Oh, we do. Let's do it.
So. Again, people, if you donate over $10, your message will be read out loud, which, is pretty cool. And we're going to figure out more ways to get creative. I mean, we just tried something the other day that I think is going to be fun for a live stream.
Oh, yeah.
So here we go. Here's one from Democracy or Demonocracy. Let me see if it'll go through. Oh, it's a GIF. Hey, look at that. Very good.
Okay.
Oh, it's not. It's kind
not
of
working.
A little quiet, isn't it?
I can't hear it.
Let me see here. All right. Try one more time, y'all, for the culture.
Sabrina Jobs.
Oh, okay, that was from Aiden. That was a new one from Aiden. Thank you, Aiden.
That's a
Sabrina
good one.
Jobs, I
Thank you,
like that.
It's
I
worth
love
it.
that. I love
Worth
that.
it. Worth it.
Yeah. Geez, I always hate when the show just like comes to a stop because I'm being stupid.
Oh no, it's all good. I'll just sit here and do like my Steve Jobs impression.
Yeah, there
What's
you go.
a Steve Jobs impression?
We got the presentation's coming up soon. We gotta go, and then he just like
Yeah.
runs through the hallways.
There you go.
Last
Yep.
week I told you guys that my mom needed a new kidney. She got it
Oh.
on set.
Oh,
I
Okay,
know
we did
everybody
read this one.
3 knows, and I told Sabrina
That's
on
good, though.
set today.
Yeah.
Just wanted Ace to know the news too. Day by day. Love you guys.
awesome.
Okay,
man.
cool. Also, yeah, if people want to put in more than $10 on Super Chat too, it'll also be read out loud as well. So that's a new feature. So both Streamlabs and Super Chat be read out loud. So, and then last try at our buddy here, Demonocracy. Oh, I think it won't read it because there's a cuss word in it. Okay. Yeah.
You can read it.
Okay, I can read it. It says, when will we get, and this was from Demonocracy, who donated $30. Thank you so much.
Oh, wow. Thank you,
yeah,
man.
thank you. When will we get the first short film from First Cut Studios? When by Sabrina, directed by RB3 with Ace as the leading actor, kicking some ASS. Greetings from Berlin.
Yeah. Oh,
Thank
wow.
Oh, thank
Much
God,
love to
she's
Germany,
so
man.
kind.
Yeah. Yes.
Much love to our German brothers and
We'll
sisters.
get that poppin'.
We'll get that popping.
Yeah, I was gonna say, why would
Yeah.
Sabrina like scoffed at me being the lead? She's like,
Oh no, I didn't. I was like, hell yeah. What do you mean? I'm not gonna act. I don't know about RB3, but I'm definitely.
I don't
not
know.
acting,
That
so
Steve
you're the
Jobs
lead for
impression
me.
was kind of something.
Yeah, you got something
I don't
going
know,
there
man.
for sure.
I'll practice.
I don't play an instrument. I play the orchestra.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a shitty
all right.
mother.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Does he say that? No, but he thinks
No,
it.
but he's
Yeah.
Basically.
All right, real quick. Lead actor in a comedy series: Anthony Anderson, Blackish; Don Cheadle, Black Monday; Ted Danson, The Good Place; Michael Douglas, Kaminsky Method; Eugene Levy, Schitt's Creek; and Rami Youssef for Rami. I don't think I've seen any of these shows except for Rami.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of these, but I do. Let me just say this up front: the comedy categories, I know nothing about. The drama
Me too.
series and the limited series and the TV movies, I'm all for that. The comedy series, I'm uninformed. So,
How about you, Sabrina?
Wait, so what category was that one?
Lead actor in a comedy series.
Oh, in a comedy series. Okay. I heard Don Cheadle was really great. That's basically my biggest takeaway from this entire thing is that I
Yeah.
heard Cheadle and Black Monday was really, really great. Haven't seen any of these, gonna be honest.
it probably got to
Y'all
be
know me
Rami.
with television.
It got to be Rami though, right? Because he got a lot
He
of
won
buzz.
last year.
Yeah, he got a
He
lot
won
of buzz.
last year.
He has a lot of buzz.
Yeah, he won last year, so we'll see if that's the case.
That Creek show got a lot of buzz too, though.
Yeah, I've heard
And I think it
people
was the
mention
last
that.
season. I think this was the last season, if I'm being correct.
Oh,
So
okay.
they might just.
They might honor it for that, maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Let's go to lead actor in a drama series.
Yes.
We have Jason Bateman in Ozark. We have Brian Cox in Succession. Sterling K. Brown, This Is Us. Steve Carell, The Morning Show. Jeremy Strong, Succession. There we go. Billy Porter, Pose. Alrighty. So anyone that we should have included.
Well, a lot of people are talking about Bob Odenkirk from Better Call Saul. That is kind of a shame. I do love Better Call Saul. I'm like 2.5 seasons behind, or 2.5 seasons behind. So I do really got to catch up on it. But it is sad to see Bob Odenkirk not being nominated. He used to be a staple of the category. But you know, who do I want to win? I do want Jeremy Strong to win
Yes.
for Succession.
Yes.
Who will win? They probably actually might give it to Brian Cox because he's more of a legendary actor, and it's a little bit of a juicier role being the old grumpy man. But then I think on top of that too, I think who's the homeboy who you mentioned from Ozark's in there?
Ozark?
Yeah,
Jason
Bateman. He may have a shot too because people love Ozark.
He won it last
People
year,
are-
right?
Yeah. People love
Ozark's
Ozark.
great.
Yeah, people love
Have you guys
Ozark.
seen Ozark? Oh, you guys have not seen
No, I've
Ozark.
seen Ozark.
I'm the only one who's an Ozark fan. I love Ozark. It's one of my favorite shows.
Yeah.
And he's great in it. Yeah, to me, Jeremy Strong all the way. The only other person that I would possibly include, and maybe because I'm super freaking biased, but Sabrina knows this, Nick Offerman.
Yeah.
Devs.
Well, I thought limited
Well, wouldn't
series.
that be for a limited series?
Oh, you're right.
Yeah,
You're right.
because it's only one season, right?
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
That's because that's what I thought first. I was like, damn, they really didn't nominate him. But then I was like, oh, it would be limited. But then they
Yeah,
still
but he
did.
still didn't get nominated. Yeah, that's weird.
But when I was going through the list, I was like, and then I saw limited, and I'm like, oh, he
Yeah.
has to be on
Then
this
they
one.
nominated
That's
Jeremy.
definitely to me.
They nominated Jeremy Irons for Watchmen. I was like, what? He's a lead actor? I didn't get that. I didn't get that one.
Yeah.
I didn't get that one.
Yeah.
Any standouts
That's-
for you in this category, Sabrina?
You know what? The only one I've seen is Succession. So I'm gonna kind of echo what you guys said on
That
this one.
final
From
scene
what I've
with
seen.
Jeremy Strong?
Yeah. Well, I haven't finished season 2 yet, guys.
Oh.
You know who I am. You know who I? Yeah.
Season
like,
2
she's
is
so-
Jeremy Strong. I think that's why he should win, right? RB3, you with me on that?
I agree, but you know.
That's him. Like,
Yeah.
that's all him, like, acting.
Oh, yeah, he killed it.
Either of them winning, I would really enjoy that. Because they are doing a season 3 at some point, right?
Yeah, I think they
have
to.
they shut it down because of COVID or whatever, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. So that's who like I would pick just because I haven't seen it, but also Billy Porter is really great in all the
Yeah.
stuff that I've seen from
Yeah,
Pose.
a lot of people, Billy
So
Porter.
they stand out.
Yeah, Billy Porter got a
Okay,
lot of supporters.
so lead actress in a drama series, Jennifer Aniston, The Morning Show, Olivia Coleman, The Crown, Jodie Comer, Killing Eve, Laura Linney, Ozark, Sandra Oh, Killing Eve, and Zendaya for Euphoria. Hey!
Love that.
Is that who you guys are going for?
Oh, 100% for me.
Yeah,
I'm going Zendaya.
I think I'm only going Zendaya because I haven't seen the other ones. Who was the other ones? Killing Eve and who else? Anything else
Laura Linney?
from Big Little Lies?
No, from Ozark.
Yeah, again, I haven't seen it. So Zendaya's
and
really the
then-
only one. I
Olivia
got.
Coleman, though.
I was gonna
Olivia
say,
Coleman is
you guys know
she
where
is
I'm
a
going,
world
right?
sweeper.
Y'all know me, bro. I got that crown, bro. I'm wearing that crown. I got my scepter. The Crown is one of my all-time favorite shows.
Okay.
I'm going straight to my girl, Olivia Coleman.
That's what's up, man.
She's
Love it.
incredible in that show. There's one scene where, if anyone's a Crown fan, and I know we have a ton of Crown fans out there, there's one scene where it's just her staring into the frame of the camera, and she's just killing it. She's just dabbing him up. Literally the whole time, dabbing.
Yeah.
As the Queen of England.
Well, she is just a freaking talent. Like,
Yeah.
she is a force to be reckoned with. Acting, even something small like in Fleabag. I haven't seen The Crown, so I haven't seen her work in that one. But in Fleabag, she's so incredible, and of course in The Favorite, obviously, because it got the
Yeah.
Well, she won, right?
She
For
won
The
the
Favorite.
She won,
Oscar,
yeah.
of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so let's go to limited series.
Yeah, now this is where, and by the way, I just want to shout out Watchmen got 26 nominations overall.
Yes.
we're not going to
Yeah,
talk
we'll talk about that.
We're not going to talk about the technical categories. They got 3 editing nominations.
We might.
I mean, we could. It got 3 editing nominations for 3 individual episodes. Same thing with Mandalorian. Also got 3 editing nominations. So I love that. They're recognizing editing for those shows.
So lead actor in a limited series or TV movie, we have Jeremy Irons. There we go for Watchmen. Hugh Jackman, Bad Education.
Yeah.
Paul Mescal for Normal People. Jeremy Pope for Hollywood. You guys have seen that.
Yeah.
And then Mark Ruffalo for I Know This Much Is True. What do you guys think? I don't know Jeremy Pope.
Well, we kind of talked about Hugh Jackman when we did our Bad Education review. We
Yeah.
talked about how great Hugh Jackman was. So that's kind of no surprise right there that he belongs here. Of course, as we mentioned, Nick Offerman for Devs. Huge
Yes.
snub. Like,
Yeah.
ginormous. I can't even imagine because he did so freaking great. But I'm actually starting I Know This Much Is True next up after the Schmodown in like a week or two.
Yeah.
I heard really great things about Mark Ruffalo's performance because he's playing 2 different characters.
Yeah.
So that could give him a leg up in that sense, because it takes a lot.
People
you
love
know?
that. Yeah,
Right.
people love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, RB3?
I don't have any connection. I just think it's a little weird for Jeremy Irons to be there for lead actor. I think supporting actor
Yeah,
for sure,
that's
but like
weird.
I don't know, that's a little strange. He does have his he does like I can see why, because for a lot of the show he's isolated by himself, so I can see he's like carrying the lead of his own scenes. But I don't know, that's strange. But otherwise, I don't really have any real attachments. I like Jeremy Pope in Hollywood. And I like Hugh Jackman. If
Hugh Jackman.
Yeah. If I'm going for going for anybody, I'm going for Hugh Jackman probably. So
That's me. Yeah, that's where I'm going for sure because
Yeah.
he killed that. Let's go to lead actress for for a limited series or TV movie. We have Kate Blanchett in Mrs. America.
This is competitive.
Shira Haas in Unorthodox, Regina King in Watchmen, Octavia Spencer in Self-Made, and Kerry Washington for Little Fires Everywhere. Kerry Washington, man, making a comeback. I haven't seen her in a minute.
Yeah, it's a scandal.
What do you guys think?
Yeah, this is. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Sabrina.
Oh no, this is stacked with so much talent. The one snub, Viola Davis. I'm just surprised that she's not on the list for her last season of How to Get Away with Murder.
Is
that
drama?
just finished up.
Is that drama series or?
Yeah, that would be drama, right?
Oh, 100% drama, yeah.
But this is limited series.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Yeah.
But she still isn't on the list for drama. But yeah, so this is really stacked. I'm going to go with what I've seen from Watchmen, Regina King or Kate Blanchett.
Oh, you haven't finished Watchmen?
I haven't finished Watchmen. Guys, I don't know why you guys are surprised at this point. You know how I am.
Yeah, but that's like Watchmen is like that's better than like most movies that came out last year.
I know, I have to. I will seriously, I will sit down and finish these all up soon. But yeah.
Yeah, but you know, but speaking to Viola Davis, she could also be a snub in this category for performance in Troop Zero. I'm sorry, Troop Zero on Amazon Prime.
I've never seen that.
Yeah, it's a TV movie.
I heard about it.
Yeah, got a lot of acclaim, and she produced it as well. But if anything, the real dead heat race here is between Kate Blanchett and Regina King. It's tight. I mean, it's tight. If people will watch Mrs. America, it's a really great performance.
Okay.
It's a really great performance.
Because to me, it's Regina King, literally going 99 yards all the way to the touchdown.
Yeah.
I don't see anyone else stopping her, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
That's just me.
I definitely see Regina King winning. But
I think she killed it, bro.
Yeah,
Literally playing different roles. With certain scenes, and you know what I'm talking about if you've seen Watchmen.
Yeah.
I think she takes this, and I think she's worthy of it too. Any snubs that we're thinking of?
Thank you for joining me this past Monday to talk UFC on the ANS podcast.
Hey, that's
Can't wait
Alec.
to
What's
see
up,
you
bro?
Direct a live-action Dragon Ball Z. Sabrina, you're doing a great job representing women in this sphere. Keep up the great work, everyone.
Yes.
Yeah, live action
So
Dragon
much.
Balls.
But where your tethers? Between RB4 Juice Cabrera and now Sabrina Jobs, the Schmo Eminati has their eyes on you. I must summon Jeremiah. P.S. I got a Twitter for Black and Brown Movie News and to retweet you all. Follow at
cool.
Guerriero on Twitter.
Thank you.
Ooh.
The thing just
Did you
opened
say-
itself up.
Oh yeah.
Wow, this robot.
What did he say in the beginning? He said the tethered. Is that an Us reference?
He said, he said, beware you're tethered between RB4, Juice Cabrera, and now Sabrina Jobs. The Schmo
damn.
Minati is.
We're gonna get
now has
replaced,
their eyes
y'all.
on you. Yeah. So I mean,
Damn, bro, they're coming after us.
Look it out, man.
Thank you so much for this Streamlabs.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Let's go to the limited series overall. Outstanding limited series: Watchmen, Mrs. America, Unbelievable. Wow, Unorthodox, and Little Fires Everywhere. Have you guys seen Unbelievable?
Ooh, oh my god, I
That's a
watched a few
Netflix
episodes
show.
of that. Yeah, Caitlin
Yeah.
Dever, Toni Collette, a lot
Toni
of great
Collette.
Harriet Weaver.
We love Toni
and
Collette.
so on this podcast, we love Toni Collette. But that's cut. But yeah, that was a really incredible show. Damn, all those performances in that show. So freaking good, hard-hitting topic. You just cry so much. It's absolutely insane. The amount of chills I get from watching this show. Oh, it was probably my favorite thing to have come out this year, or
Really?
in the past year.
Past year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. I should check it out.
I haven't watched Unbelievable, but I do have to shout out again Mrs. America. It's absolutely a great show. I think if anything would be a close second to Watchmen, it would be Watchmen, but I think Watchmen is just dominating the field so much. I don't see anything else winning. I think honestly HBO is going to go on a run with their best drama series being Succession, their best mini series being our best limited series is going to be obviously Watchmen. Best TV movie is probably going to be Bad Education. And frankly, there's a lot of people who think there's a great shot for best comedy series going to Insecure. Because Lisa Ray has been getting nominated not only for best lead actress, not only for also the main award, but also getting nominated for a Black Lady sketch show as well. So, I mean, there's a good chance that HBO could literally run the table. But a lot of people are saying the comedy category is probably going to go to Marvelous Miss Maisel. So, who knows?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they win all the time, right?
They do. The streaming services have been winning a lot recently, but you know.
Yeah, that's always something where I always feel like they should mix it up. But again, who am I to say? Alrighty, let's finish up with outstanding drama series. We have Better Call Saul,
Yeah.
The Crown, Handmaid's Tale, Killing Eve, The Mandalorian, Ozark, Stranger Things, and Succession. All right, what stands out for you guys? Not necessarily what's going to win, but what is like something that really stands out for you guys?
The Mandalorian, 100%, just because that wasn't something that I even thought about going into this, and then seeing it actually happen, I was like, hell yes. I think they got like 11 nominations total or something like that.
15.
Some crazy 15? Oh my god, some crazy number. I already thought 11 was insane, but I am really happy to hear that and surprised to see it, because Mandalorian was such a great TV show, and if they're putting out, like we said earlier, talking about theaters versus studios and like all of that drama, they're putting out quality television over there, like with this Star Wars continuing, going further into that world, showing different stories, and it's just really cool, and I'm happy to see this happen.
Yeah.
I echo everything you said. As soon as I saw The Mandalorian, I freaked out. Obviously for a lot of reasons, because me being the Star Wars guy and the Star Wars fan, but at the same time, I love that the Emmys can recognize something that the Oscars don't do. If I'm being real, is recognizing the fun, weird, quirky Star Wars show, because that's kind of what The Mandalorian is. If anyone has seen the show, they know it's kind of a weird show. It's a weird ass show. Like, if I'm being real, that's just what it is. It's fun, it's great, but it's very quirky. It's got Taika Waititi as a droid. It's got a little baby Yoda. Like, for crying out loud, it's a quirky ass show. And the fact that they nominated it for Best Drama Series is just, it's awesome. I love that they're recognizing those kind of shows.
Yeah.
How about you, RB3?
I think it is a big deal because, you know, they try and recognize a lot of streaming services. You know, they recognized Amazon before, they recognized Netflix before. I think this Disney's big time for them to shine. And I think, you know, it did really great in the technical categories. Like I said, 3 nominations for editing, 2 nominations in the cinematography category. It did really well. Even got a music nomination. So shout out Ludwig Göransson.
Yeah, Ludwig.
If he actually wins this, he'll be one award short of an EGOT. So he would have, if he would have an Emmy, an Oscar, and a Golden Globe, he would just need a Tony after this point. So, and he's a really good shot of winning this for drama series. And also they double recognized Taika for both being the voice in Mandalorian and for What We Do in the Shadows. So it's good all around the board. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and obviously, guys, you know how much I love What We Do in the Shadows. It's one of my favorite shows, and my vampire love is there as well. Yeah, you jumped to it, RB3, so I kind of want to get to it. This is the debate, in my opinion. This is the battle of battles. And if I'm being honest, I'm stuck between the two because I love them both. Who would you guys say, and Sabrina, I don't know if you're going to have enough of a sample size for this, but best score between The Mandalorian and Watchmen? RB3, to me, I was like, oh, damn. Because Trent Reznor, whatever his name is, Nine Inch Nails, homie?
Yeah, Trent Reznor, Atticus
murdered
Ross.
that.
Yeah.
Like, he straight up, like Uzi'd that score.
Yeah.
That score was one of the best I've ever heard for a TV show. He just straight up opened fire on that.
Yeah.
And then Ludwig did his thing with the horns and with the freaking, you know, 808s.
The Rocky music and the Star Wars show. Like,
yeah, like straight up bringing it out. Like, Homeboy was like dropping bars on a Star Wars show. Yeah. Just for me, I'm just like, who do I pick? Like, I think I have a side, but I want to hear your thoughts first, RB3.
Well, this is funny because when you actually look statistically, this is the first time a composer other than John Williams has actually been recognized for any Star Wars music ever. And that's unique. Like, and this speaks to the talent of Ludwig Göransson and who he is as a talented figure. I think his name is kind of buzzy right now. I think that kind of helps for the music side.
But Trent Reznor's famous.
Yeah, Trent Reznor's super famous, Oscar winner. They're both Oscar winners, and we're seeing, and that's what's funny. We're seeing, you know, like a lot of people are like,
because he did Social Network, right?
He did Social Network.
Yeah,
there you go, bro.
Yeah, so
Homeboy can murder.
But it's funny because people are, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, all the actors who won Oscars are now doing TV. Now we're seeing all the composers who won Oscars are now doing TV, and they're competing against each other, right? So I think this is gonna be a huge deal. I do want to see Watchmen win because they had that really great episode where it was like really jazz centric music, and that's really outside of the range of Atticus Ross and Trent Reznor. So I would like to see that win, but I do want to see Louis Gorson take the prize too. So it's a really good competition for sure.
Sabrina, I know you have a smaller sample size than we do. But
I do want to say too, Succession is also nominated in that category. So
that's what I was gonna say. Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I was gonna say. I really, really enjoyed Succession. So I actually, obviously with Watchmen, because I haven't finished it,
Well,
even
yeah,
I've
yeah.
gone obviously further into so I'm gonna say it's between Succession and Mandalorian. And I'm still going to go with the Mandalorian on that one because of how talented Ludwig is, because of how in the zeitgeist he is. He did like Black Panther. He's won an Oscar. I mean, like he's just kind of been everywhere now. People are really talking about him when it comes to scores and composing and everything like that. I'm constantly seeing his name being thrown around as like the current GOAT, like that's still working today, like the young GOAT. And so I'm going to go with that one, and I would really like to see The Mandalorian get recognized for that. So that's what I'm going to go.
If I'm being honest, guys, I don't think I've ever heard a score like the Watchmen score. It was just something that was so... It went from like 90s techno. Remember that first episode with Regina King? Like, dun, 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 and I was like, what is this? This is crazy. I've never heard that. To jazz.
Yeah, it's a real
like
heartfelt...
piano.
Like,
Yeah, to like a piano violin score.
Yeah.
To a cover of David Bowie. That cover of David Bowie will always blow my mind. And it's in one of the best episodes of the season. Yeah. And that piano cover is literally used by Nike in a sports commercial now.
Oh, really?
They just took it. They just bought it.
Yeah.
It's one of the most beautiful, ethereal, weird things I've ever heard. The only other thing that maybe compared to me this year was the Devs score. I don't even know if Devs was nominated for score. But that's the only other comparison I have to that weird etherealness. But to me, it's Watchmen all the way. And I love Ludwig, and The Mandalorian is like one of my favorite things ever. I wrote about it for Geeks of Color, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
And yet I'm probably picking Watchmen, if I'm being honest.
That's understandable, though. They're all great. It really just just is like what you lean towards the most. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, Oscar winners we're
already,
talking
guys.
Yeah, we have some... I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, we do? Go for it. No,
we have some Streamlabs here. Just while we're still in the Emmy conversation, House Heisenberg said, this is number 1 of 2. Hi, First Cut crew wanted to chime in the Emmy discussion. There were huge snubs this year, most notably Tom Parry for Ozarks. He gave my favorite performance of the year in any show or movie, a heartbreaking portrayal of bipolar disorder. And House Heisenberg continued and said, other big snubs for me are pretty much includes every actor from Better Call Saul, Bob Odenkirk, Rhea Seehorn, Jonathan Banks, and Tony Dalton. Also, really wanted to see some love for Mr. Robot and Homeland, which had incredible final seasons. Salute to Mr. Robot, man. I know we still love Mr. Robot, but we kind of fell off of it a little bit.
So was that Tom Pelfrey?
Tom Pelfrey,
Pelfrey?
Yeah, Tom Pelfrey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That dude. That part.
Yeah.
I know. I heard a lot of people, and I mean a lot of people, talking about Rhea, whatever her name is, Rhea Seehorn.
Yeah.
Rhea Seehorn.
Yeah, she's great in that show.
I have never seen that show, so maybe that's why. I don't know, but people are mad about it apparently.
Yeah.
The only other thing I have...
It's been 17 years and I'm still pissed off Fox TV cancelled Firefly after only 15 episodes. Disrespectful.
Oh, well, speaking of that, we're going to talk about, later on in the episode, we're going to finish up with our top 3 favorite TV shows of all time.
Absolutely.
We want you guys to join in the conversation. I'm going to be reading as many comments as we have, and then obviously we can have a Streamlab with that as well, right, RB3?
Yeah. And we still have a few more Streamlabs too. Sinister Alec Miller says, sitting at home drinking a beer while watching the Astro games and listening to the First Cut live. Tonight is a good night. P.S. I think you missed my last Streamlabs. Love for you all. Let me check on that. Okay, I think it was about the Ace, the UFC podcast. So thank you, Alec. Appreciate it. And then we also have another one from Sinister Alec Miller who said, Ace, Khabib versus I really can't pronounce that name. Gaethje, yes, has been confirmed to take place on October 24th for the undisputed UFC lightweight championship. Can't wait. #drip drip.
Yeah, that fight's gonna be crazy. Even though Khabib is like a freak of nature, that Justin Gaethje is such a strong fighter that I don't even know.
And D-Train donated as well and said tomorrow the NBA is back in Biggie's voice. We're Brooklyn out. We're Brooklyn out. We're Brooklyn out. Yeah.
I literally have been going around my house today, literally going up to my mom and my dog, especially my dog, and just being like, NBA's back tomorrow. Tomorrow's the day. Like I'm grabbing my dog in her face and literally rubbing it, and just being like freaking out about the NBA. I swear I'm gonna like float tomorrow. Like I'm straight up gonna pull a Pennywise and just start floating out of pure heightened joy and love. And yeah, those deadlights are gonna get me.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Do we have another one?
No, I think that was all the Streamlabs. Yeah.
All right. We had some super chats. I don't know if you have them. Okay.
I don't.
So we have one from Will Watson. He said the triple threat is back. Ace, RB3, and Sabrina, you all kill it. Just wanted to roll through and show support. Thank you, Will.
Thank you.
Always great. And then 156 Impulse came back in the super chat and said, thanks, guys. We waited 2 years for this. So congratulations again.
Awesome.
Prayers up. And then Larry Lee, and he said, join Sabrina's Patreon.
Yeah.
So yes, if you join my Patreon, Sabrina on Film, we did a Cats watch-along drinking game, and it was absolutely ridiculous. And I enjoyed the film by the end of it because I was drunk. So go watch that.
There you go. Do we have another one or?
No, those are it.
Great. So real quick, guys, I just want to do a quick toss just because we're a director's podcast, supposedly. Let's jump into TV directing real quick.
Yes.
And this is me kind of pulling an audible. Outstanding directing for a drama series. We have The Crown, Aberfan, which is one of the most chilling episodes of television I've ever seen, and I'm not joking. It's about the tragedy that took place that day that really goes underlooked and really forgotten in history, and the way that each person reacted to it on an emotional level and how that city and that town got together. Beautiful episode, absolutely deserving. The Crown again with Creed the Cool. And then we have Homeland, Prisoners of War. Yeah. The Morning Show, The Interview. We have Ozark for Fire Pink. Ozark for Sukasa Mikasa. We have Succession for Hunting. Remember that episode? RB3?
Yeah, that's a weird one. That's
too much, bro.
That's a weird one.
When I saw that, I was like, this is
a weird one.
This is some Trump shit.
Yeah, that's a super
Trump
weird one.
shit.
Yeah,
and
that's
I will
specific.
say that
that's somebody whoever directed that has been to one of them kind of locations and know what's going on because that's too specific. Like
too specific. That's literally Donald Trump. I was like, oh my god, is this Trump?
Yeah.
That episode murdered me. When I was watching that, I wish I had a reaction.
Yeah.
And then finally we have Succession. This is not for the tears, or this is not for tears.
That's the finale, right?
Yeah, all great, honestly. Outstanding directed for a limited series, real quick. We have Little Fires Everywhere, Find a Way, Normal People, Episode 5, Unorthodox. And then we have Watchmen, It's Summer and We're Running Out of Ice. That's the pilot.
Yes.
Watchmen, Little Fear of Lightning. Beautiful episode. And then we have Watchmen, The Extraordinary Feeling. No, The Extraordinary Being. Another...
Yeah, This Extraordinary Being, yeah.
Incredible episode.
You know, it's funny. This Extraordinary Being, which is episode 8, which is my personal favorite of the series. Yeah. They nominated that episode for so many awards, but none of the finale episodes got nominated, which is interesting.
What about the writing? The writing, I wish I could have the writing. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick.
Yeah.
You know which episodes got nominated for writing? Because that one should be nominated for writing.
The finale or the
episode 8.
Yeah, but that one's nominated for editing, and I think this is going to win editing. Because if you watch the episode, some crazy editing going on in that episode.
It's bonkers editing going on for that. Alrighty, guys. So let's do our top 3 favorite shows of all time.
Is there a comedy series? What about comedy series? See what's up on the comedy series side.
And directing, you mean?
Yeah, directing. If you don't mind.
Yeah, I'll pull it up right now. Let me go to outstanding directing. Sorry, guys, I have the entire PDF.
Oh yeah,
Good. I'm actually gonna run to the bathroom. One second.
Okay, of
Go for
course,
it.
of course,
Sorry,
of
guys.
course. Yeah.
I have reality TV. I have
Okay.
documentary nonfiction.
Oh man. Okay, I have to talk to y'all about the documentary. I completely forgot about this. The documentary category this year, real quick, and this will be real quick.
Go for it,
Unbelievably stacked this year for documentary category. There's the Hillary miniseries that was on Hulu.
I'm not gonna watch that.
But then there's I mean, it drew up a lot of controversy. I don't know.
I can't see that shit, bro.
Then there's McMillions, right? The HBO one that became super popular,
I saw
super
that.
viral. And check this: The Last Dance nominated as well. But guess what else is nominated? Ace?
I know Tiger King.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it, and I'm not gonna watch it.
You refuse to watch Tiger King?
I refuse to watch that.
Oh man, come on, man.
That's my thoughts right there,
It's
bro.
good white people entertainment, man. It's good white.
See,
people
I'm not
entertainment.
about that, bro. I'm not about
good
it.
white people entertainment.
All right, here we go. Outstanding directing for a comedy series. The Great. I don't know what that is. Marvelous Miss Maisel. It's comedy or cabbage.
Okay.
Marvelous Miss Maisel. Marvelous Radio.
Okay.
Modern Family Finale Part 2.
Okay. Martin Family.
Rami Mia Khalifa.
Hey.
That's literally what's nominated.
Hey, I love it.
Hey, man, you do you, bro. Schitt's Creek, Happy Ending, and Will and Grace, We Love Lucy.
Oh, nice, cool.
Wow. So, obviously no Atlanta there because Atlanta.
Yeah, not
wasn't
eligible.
this year, yeah.
Dave Chappelle, Sticks and Stones got a lot of love too. Looks like a big front runner for a lot of the variety awards. And Quibi did really well as well in the short form categories.
Yeah. What do you think about Quibi, man? I've never gotten your thoughts on that whole.
I don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't know. I don't understand it. But you know, it is what it is.
So let's see. As far as original music and lyrics, Euphoria got a ton of nominations.
Yeah,
for
Euphoria.
Can I shout out something too that I'm really happy about? I'm not
please.
surprised. But I'm really happy to see Euphoria nominated for makeup.
Yes.
That work on it. They had a really incredible team who worked super diligently. They actually posted the process on like Instagram and everything, showing how they came up with certain characters' looks because it's so specific. Obviously, you guys have seen it. But I think that's something that's really interesting, and very talented women of color. Like that's a really cool group of people. And so I'm happy they got that record.
It's interesting because they separate special effects makeup from makeup. What do you guys think of that in the Emmys?
I kind of like it because then we don't get a situation like Suicide Squad. Even though there was special effects makeup, we had Star Trek that same year, and that was something that was way better. And I just don't want to see a situation where two are put up against each other that aren't even on the same level, because normal makeup and hairstyling and stuff like that is just not the same as like prosthetics and effects makeup. I have a friend who does effects makeup, but doesn't like just doing like a normal face of makeup. But she is incredibly talented at effects makeup. It's just a completely different talent, so I like that they recognize it separately.
Yeah, I've always said this, and I'm going to say it again, so I don't care. One of my all-time favorite shows, reality TV show, Face Off. I used to watch that with my mom back when it was on, when I was in high school and throughout college, because that thing had like 10 seasons. It's pretty much all special effects makeup. It's incredible. It's really interesting how they do that. Those guys kill themselves for getting the perfect amount of design of color. That's why I'm very, 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 very vocal. Extremely. You guys know. You've been around me.
Top
when
3
it comes to
favorite
making
TV shows as of today: Firefly, The Wire, Avatar, The Last Airbender. All 3 equally amazing in their own way.
Wow. Thank you, Sabrina.
I might have to do a separate anime category.
Just jumped in.
But yeah, let's start doing that real quick. I'm just gonna give a shout out to the writing, best writing, outstanding writing for a drama series: Better Call Saul, Bad Choice Road, Better Call Saul, Bagman, The Crown, Aberfan, Ozark, All In, Ozark, Boss Fight, Ozark, Fire Pink, and Succession, This Is Not for Tears. Outstanding writing for a limited series: Mrs. America, Shirley, Normal People, Episode 3, Unbelievable, Episode 1, Unorthodox, Part 1, and Watchmen. There we go. This Extraordinary Being.
Yeah, there you go. That's
There you
great
go.
written.
That's the one I wanted.
Just before we move on from the Emmys, we do have a couple more Streamlabs. Hitman Hudson said Anthony Starr got screwed for a nomination for The Boys. Yeah, a lot of people are upset that The Boys didn't get any love.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah, me too. Sterling K. Brown also got screwed out of his third acting nomination for Kimpo and the Age of Wonder Beast. I'm not sure what that is, but it's pretty cool that he already is double nominated. Hitman Hudson says he should have been triple nominated. Let's see here. Let me refresh real quick. Roll in a second, y'all. And then we got down here. We have House Heisenberg. Oh, wait, hold up. We have, Sinister Alec Miller said, I would have loved if Gat got nominated for Dave. Yeah, that's great. Gata from Dave. He's fantastic in his portrayal of a person with bipolar disorder. Had me choked up. Yeah, absolutely. That was a great portrayal, definitely. And then, yeah. So I guess going into our next discussion, as you saw, Samir had the $10 donation about the Firefly, The Wire, and Avatar: Last Airbender. We also have House Heisenberg giving history. He says Game of Thrones, Breaking Bad, and South Park. Game of Thrones is my Star Wars, meaning it's my biggest love and obsession. So it'll always be my number one, even though I had major problems with the last couple of seasons. So that's Heisenberg.
All right, so you guys don't watch anime.
Yeah, I watch.
So you don't have to do an anime category, but I will.
Well, I wouldn't even know one.
Alrighty,
Cowboy
so who's
Bebop.
ready? Who's got? Yeah, everyone says that. They're like, I don't see anime. Cowboy Bebop. All right, are you guys ready or not? Here we go, guys. Top 3 all-time favorite live-action shows. How about that? I put a stipulation in there just for me. Who's ready? Who's got their 3?
You go, Sabrina. You go.
And I want to hear sound off in the chat right now for anyone who's watching. I'm gonna give you guys a shout out if you guys give me your top 3 live action TV shows of all time.
So
it could be most influential. It could be favorite. It doesn't have to be the best.
Yeah, that's kind of how it is to me. This is really, really difficult, but I thought about just like going back on my life, and I didn't even have too much time to really go through everything, but the ones who have been the most influential on my life. So I'm going to say for number 3, I'm going to say Twilight Zone.
Really?
Because I watched that, when I was a little kid, I watched the hell out of the Twilight Zone, and that's why Oh yeah, 100%. I actually have only watched like 2 episodes of the new one, and I just never really got into it. But the OG, my uncle had a huge box set of it, and just like every single holiday, for some reason, we would always watch it. And I was really into like, this is a funny short story. So I've been into horror forever, and I could deal with like gross horror. I could deal with any slashers, anything. For some reason, something like the Twilight Zone, this like quiet, contained horror, kind of like just thriller scary, actually scares me so much more than any horror movie ever could. So the Twilight Zone was something that I would rewatch a lot of the episodes. The mannequin episode with the lady is something I still think about. The one with like the plane. I can't remember the names of the episodes, but where there's like someone on the plane wing. All of those, that was one of my favorite shows ever growing up as a kid. I just rewatched those episodes constantly. Cool. And so recently I watched like The Vast of Night, and that movie scared me so much because it's that same type of feel.
Oh, you finally saw it.
Finally, and I know we're going to do a review for it.
My recommendation worked.
But I was scared to death that night. Like literally so terrified, because that's still that type of like thriller horror that actually gets to me. Nothing else does. So that was one of those things. So Twilight Zone when I was a kid. Am I saying all 3 now?
Yeah. So I think we should. Just a quick shout out. I think Mark Ellis and Danny Fernandez are also big fans of Twilight Zone.
Oh, really?
They did cosplay for it like 2 years ago for LA Comic Con. The guy with the pig face. I don't even know what that was.
Yeah.
You know what it is? All right.
Episode.
So shout out to Twilight Zone fans.
That's a really great episode. And then my other, this is so difficult. I'm also going to have a very small honorable mentions, but I'm going to say my other one is It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh.
That's, Nothing makes me laugh harder than It's Always Sunny. I will put it on, and it is just, obviously, if you've seen it, it's just the most zany, ridiculous show. And you could just watch episodes randomly and just have, like, the best time doing it. I was obsessed with that show when I first came out and moved out here for college. Just watched that all the time. And then my number one is Fleabag. Number one favorite show of all time. Seriously.
Really? You just saw it?
Seriously. I know, I just seen. No, that's the thing. I've seen both seasons probably like 5 times now.
Yeah.
Because you can get through them in literally like 7 hours, and I could watch it again right now if I wanted to. I think it is the point of view and the perspective of like Fleabag. They're setting this show. We don't even know like the main character's name. It's literally, she's just referred to as like Fleabag. I think Phoebe Waller-Bridge is incredibly talented. What she did with this show is just insane. The entire ensemble together. There's so much heart. There's so much humor. It's so raw and authentic and real. I feel I understand everything that she goes through with the show, and it is really nice. I always talk about seeing women represented in this way, being like real, honest. It's not always this like cookie cutter clean version of ourselves. I love to see that. So Fleabag, oh my god, made the hugest impact when I first saw it just a few months ago.
That's a great list, because I really do feel like I'm not going to give you hate, because current shows can really have a major impact in people's lives. So yeah, absolutely, that's a great list, Sabrina. RB3.
Okay. Well, this is just
RB3 is like, I don't want to do this.
I mean, no. I didn't think about the all-time game. I honestly came in to ready to talk about favorite shows of last year. But yeah, all-time is different.
You can do that if you want.
Nah, we could just. I'll keep it. You know, since we're talking current, I'll feel okay with putting a more current show on there, and I'll say. Okay, so also let me say this too. Since we're not doing animated, this also makes this list kind of harder too, because a lot of my favorite all-time shows are connected to like my childhood, and I'm not really much of a
separate animated.
Yeah, I'm not really a TV.
I've
never really been a TV guy until very recently. So a lot of my live action exposure kind of comes like recently. So I gotta say, you know, it probably gotta be. Part of me wants to say Watchmen, but also part of me doesn't want to say Watchmen because only one season. But then I'll also feel okay giving The Leftovers the third spot, which is Damien Lindelof's show right before Watchmen. And I do have my gripes with it, and I made my gripes very public with it. Like I did have issues with like the third season. But it's, you know, when a show has like so much greatness, like you can only expect greatness. And like when it falls short from greatness, like of course I'm going to be mad and disappointed because it's great. You know what I mean? So, you know, even if it's something I disagree with, the fact that I passionately disagree with it means I care about it a lot. So I'll put probably Leftovers as my number 3. I'll say probably Fresh Prince of Bel Air in terms of comedies. Gotta be my number 2. Just been rewatching that recently, and it's really funny. It's a little bit dated, and it's kind of weird how like every person in the show is a Republican except for Will. It's a little scary actually. But other than that, is really really fun. And really really funny comedy. And then number 1, it gotta be Breaking Bad. I love Breaking Bad. I'll remember. I'll never forget just being on the edge of my seat. As the last season of that show was just wrapping up. It was just literally the most intense thing ever. So Breaking Bad gotta be there for that.
That's a good one, man. I'll give me your top 3 animated after I say my top 3 live action.
Oh yeah.
So I'll do mine real quick. Number 3, I'm going by influential, and if anyone, that's just me personally. Shows that impacted my life in a different way, whether it's joy or whether it's literally changing it. Number 3, Supernatural. Supernatural is one of my all-time favorite shows. I love Supernatural. I know the references. I know the lines. If I ever did TV trivia, I can do Supernatural. Like, that's the one show.
Oh, yeah.
Sam and Dean kicking ass, killing demons, saving the world. Those homies are my homies. And I will always appreciate that show. That's one of my all-time favorite shows. Seasons 1 through 5 are perfect, and I stand by that. I think just 1 through 5 is literally just perfect TV, and that arc was supposed to be the original show, just 1 through 5. Number 2, I'll go. Damn it, number 2 and 1 are basically the 1 and 2 for me, but Game of Thrones changed my life. Literally changed my life. Part of the reason why I even moved out to LA is Game of Thrones. Part of the reason why I became fans of schmoes was Game of Thrones. So yeah, I mean with Ken, Tiffany. Shout out to Tiffany. She was on a Game of Thrones podcast. I forget the name already. But that show really did a number on me, and now I literally have plans for like Game of Thrones tattoos all over my body, and I mean that.
Hell yeah!
And that's when you know it's love. And number one, it's got to be Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Buffy the Vampire Slayer made me fall in love with genre television and genre shows. Obviously, made me fall in love with vampires, as you guys know. That's what made me want to pick up vampire books, vampire mythology stuff. It made me want to watch horror movies. It made me want to watch stuff that was out of my comfort zone as a kid. And that really had a major impact in my life. So, Buffy. Yeah. RB3, do you have a quick animated or?
Yeah, so I'm kind of thinking about this a lot, and I definitely... So, okay, here's what I'll just say real quick. For my number 3 spot, I want to give it to, like, a comedy, and I want to give it to something that kind of is, like, lifelong and generational. So part of me wanted to go with Rick and Morty, but that's like pretty recent. And another part of me wanted to go with like SpongeBob, but that was like pretty much when I was a kid. But the one consistent thing that's been throughout my life has been The Simpsons. So I'll probably put that as my number 3 spot. I still watch The Simpsons to this day. You know, not like regularly, but whenever I get a chance, and even the new episodes on Disney Plus or whatever. So I love The Simpsons. My number 2 would definitely be Dragon Ball Z. I absolutely have been a massive fan my entire life, as you guys all know. So yeah, Dragon Ball Z would gotta be my number 2, and obviously number 1 is Avatar: The Last Airbender. I think that just has to enter the conversation of like greatest shows of all time. So
it does.
Yeah,
that's why I can't like
yeah,
include it.
Yeah.
Here's my thing: Avatar: The Last Airbender and Legend of Korra have dramatically impacted my life in many ways. Yeah, it's one of the reasons why I fell in love with cons. One of the first ever things I did was an Avatar live action role play, for anyone who knows what that is. I did Avatar panels at Phoenix Comic Con. Avatar changed my life. Obviously, my dog is named Korra, as you heard her in the background right now. Legend of Korra is one of my all-time favorite shows. I put those all combined, and I know I'm cheating, but whatever. Avatar: The Last Airbender, Legend of Korra dramatically impacted my life. Ghost in the Shell standalone complex is perfect anime. 2 seasons, absolute perfection. Some of the most heady, beautiful, incredible writing I've ever seen in anything, and I mean that. I stand by that. I will always promote the show as like the best anime I've probably ever seen. Yeah. And finally, the poster's in the back. The show that is done a lot for me. Attack on Titan. 1 more season left. If it nails it, it will be perfection. Because so far, seasons 1 through 3 are perfection. Devastating, beautiful, interesting, introspective, perfect so far. So season 4, don't mess it up. But either way, let me go ahead.
I'm gonna say my honorable mentions just because I don't have an animated one, even though I'd probably say SpongeBob. So Nathan For You is something that I absolutely love. So Nathan For You,
yeah. You notice how mine have no comedies. My list. Yeah.
I have to get, because I love so many sad movies, I have to get comedies from my television just because it will keep me engaged. If I'm like really sad, I won't continue it. But Nathan For You, Haunting of Hill House, and Barry, those are like my other 3 honorable mentions. I know they're all pretty recent, but all gems.
Honorable mentions
Fabrico.
for me. I'm sorry. I just wanted to shout out Entourage. And,
Entourage.
Yeah, and I want to shout out one more, but I forgot. So let's keep going.
Fabrico Rodas says top 3: Daredevil, BoJack Horseman, and La Familia Peluche. Funny as a kid and hilarious as an adult. The last one's a Spanish show, just to clarify. Much love. Peluche, by the way. Albert Stillwell, my bad, says Game of Thrones, Malcolm in the Middle, and Breaking Bad. Prince That Wasn't Promised says Game of Thrones, Doctor Who, and Fringe. Who else is here? Jason Solo says Twilight Zone is my number 1. So there you go, Sabrina. Brandon Hanna says, I love It's Only Sunday, but I've missed out on the last few seasons. What's up, Brandon Hanna?
Hey, what's up, Brandon? We have one from Aiden here who says, don't have much of a list, but here are a bunch of my favorite shows from all over. Seinfeld, Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives, Hunter, Dragon Ball Z, Ozark, Breaking Bad, The Last Airbender, Chernobyl, The Real World, and Chopped.
Chernobyl. The Real World.
Chopped. Yes. I love Chopped.
Where was another one? Oh, yeah, here we go. Prince that Wasn't Promised. Super chatting, saying Game of Thrones, Doctor Who, and The Wire. So he changed it up a little bit.
Okay.
The Ailment, or The Ailment, says... Oh, no, it's The Ailment. Says Twilight Zone, Mad Men, and The Americans.
I gotta watch The Americans.
That's a good one.
I know I like The Americans.
Yeah, I've always wanted to see that, but it's like
Really
8
great
seasons.
Yeah, it's long. It's long.
And I'm always like, I don't think I could do 8 seasons, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's what stops me from checking out a lot of shows. Like, everyone's like, The Sopranos is amazing, and I'm like, I don't have a lot of time to dedicate. There's so much new stuff coming out all the time, so that's one of the things.
Yeah.
Alrighty. I think we did it. I think I've went through a few.
Yeah.
T. Paul Xavier O says Barry. The car scene should have won an Emmy. Should have won him an Emmy, and I think it did win him an Emmy.
I don't think it
Bill Hader won an Emmy though.
He won an Emmy, but I don't think he won for directing for that one.
I think it was nominated
No,
for
but
directing.
he won.
He was nominated.
But he won for Best Actor.
Yes, I think
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
Yeah,
But for the scene, because they nominated that episode.
but he got an Emmy though. He got it. He's good.
That's my boy.
Yeah, I know, but I think there's better. I think there's better Barry episodes, if I'm being honest. I thought it was funny.
Yeah, we did have that conversation before.
Yeah, because I picked another. I forgot the episode I picked as like the best episode of Barry. Oh yeah, it was the boyfriend episode. I thought that episode was just.
That's a great one.
It murdered me in so many different ways. Like the way it was so dark, but so funny. Pitch black dark, but at the same time had me rolling. Yeah, Barry's incredible. I love Barry.
Absolutely.
Any other Streamlabs?
Let me refresh real quick, and people, if you want to put in some last Streamlabs or one last time to get your voice heard, please do it. Streamlabs.com/First Cut Studios is in the description. It's in the chat right now. It really helps out the channel, helps us grow, and the more money, honestly, we could get, the better. Just because it helps us, it helps us stay alive, and we need to stay alive. So, yeah, we don't have anything else, I don't think. So, yeah, I think we're good.
Alrighty. Man, you guys killed it today. Thank you so much for being with me. I really do appreciate you guys. I think you guys are amazing. Much love. Much love. Alrighty, guys, for the First Cut crew, I'm Andres.
There's RB3.
I'm Sabrina.
And make sure, guys, you follow them as well. We have Sabrina at Sabrina X Monica, right?
Yes, and also Sabrina on Film on Twitter.
And make sure you subscribe to her Patreon. What's your Patreon?
Sabrina on Film.
There you go. RB3 at Director RB3, and I'm at Squad Leader Race. Follow us at First Cut TMO. For the First Cut crew, we are peacing out. Peace out, guys.
This ain't funny, so don't you dare laugh. With the 4/5 divide you in half. You getting at me equals a bloodbath. You do the math, take you out the equation.